Known for her film roles in Black Panther, Black is King and Blesses. On television, she appeared in Zone 14, Rhythm City and Gomora. We spoke to her on celebrating 44 years in the industry, and this is how that conversation went.
Connie, thank you very much for making time to talk to us on Morning Live. Let me start by saying that you've been in the industry for 40 years. So when does Connie start acting?
Oh, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share whatever you want to know with the viewers, you know. Formally, I would say I started in 1977. I was teaching then. I was a teacher called Ratong in Orlando. And then I saw this advert where they were looking for dancers, actors, and singers. So I went there and I took a chance. And surprisingly, I was cast on the spot.
And 40 years in, what still prizes you about being in the industry? You're one of the few veterans that we have in South Africa. So 40 years in, what still prizes you in acting?
I think it's the passion and the love that one has for one's work. Mm-hmm. I believe that, you know, when we are born, we are all wired differently. And if the power that is the universe, the power that is God, has put something in you, there's no way you can run away from it. You can divulge, do something else. Like it's very usual in our business where, especially during my time when we were discouraged, you know, from going into show business because it was not regarded as a serious job. But if it's something that you are passionate about, I don't know, I don't really have a specific answer for you, but I believe that passion that you have and the love that you have for the industry, that's the one that will keep you in the industry, and being humble and being, you know, ready to learn all the time. Because even though we've been in the industry for so long, when we started, there were no drama schools for black people. So everything that we know, we learned from experience. And the nice thing about it is that we have a new breed of practitioners coming in, people who went to school and learn about acting, things that Rona we didn't learn about. So it's so exciting to work with the younger generation and exchanging the experience and exchanging the knowledge and the new innovations which they have.
Do you still remember who or what drew you to the industry? You just mentioned that it wasn't popular when you started. So looking back then, who sparked that idea? Who did you look up to?
You know, during our days, I remember the only person that we knew, Rona, it was Bragip, Gibson Kente. And he used to come, Groupia High, Buskalo, and other shows that he used to do. I'm from Verkom, by the way, in the Free State. So you can imagine it was like a faraway thing, or you can see yourself in Joburg and see yourself in a play like that, especially during the times of apartheid. But I would like to say people like Bubra Gibson Kente, Sam Mangwani, Buma Hotela Queens, and other groups that were there during that time, one drew experience from them. And another thing, again, is that our parents, people who brought us up, were big fans at jazz. So they used to listen to jazz a lot and American blues. So you grow up hearing this music, Wamo High, and the music from abroad, and that thing, you know, it just catches you.
I read somewhere that your first break was from a TV series called Inkomo Edlayota. I stand to be corrected. Do you still remember that part and your character? Tell us a bit more on Tembi. I think that was your character.
Actually, that was my second one on TV.
Okay.
The first one was a Circle of Sense. In Sizulu, they called it Izihlabathi Ziyaqabana. That was my debut on TV, except for commercials, because when I started working with cameras, it was commercials. I did quite a lot of commercials. Then after commercials, the very first TV drama series was Izihlabathi Ziyaqabana. It was shot in Namibia. And this one, Inkomo Edlayota, came after Izihlabathi Ziyaqabana. So yeah, I remember the character very well, Utembi. She was so in love with this guy, Saul, the role that was played by Henry Cele, may his soul rest in peace. Very, very beautiful piece. You know, it was a masterpiece. I don't remember who wrote it, but Tembi loved this person, and at home, at Tembi's home, they didn't like Usol because he was not educated, he didn't have money. They liked the other guy who was from a rich family. So they were trying to force her to get married there. But you know what? Love is so powerful and so strong. So she ran away. Even though she was from the rural areas, she took a chance and ran away, a rural KZN, and came to Johannesburg looking for the love of his life. I remember it very well.
And Ma, you mentioned that you've been in the industry obviously for 43 years, and you said for one to have a sustainable relationship in this industry, you need to be humble. What would you say, what else contributes to your longevity and sustainability in this industry?
I think, when we started in the industry, even though I say we didn't go to school, but one thing that we were taught is discipline. Discipline meaning that you respect the people that you work with, Kanjani, you respect the people that you work with by arriving on time at work, They used to teach us that if your call is at 10 o'clock, you have to be there at 9:30, especially in theater. Because in theater, maybe you still have to change and wear the clothes that you're going to rehearse with. It doesn't mean you're at 10 o'clock you are arriving. 10 o'clock you are ready, you are on stage. I mean, discipline in that way of respecting people, respecting time, making sure that you understand your character, making sure that you read your script and all of that. And over and above that, your interpersonal skills. How do you relate to people generally? Not just at school, not just at work, but everywhere. Those interpersonal relationships that you build with people, they go a long way. I know that in the industry there are people who, when we are casting in a new drama series, when people look at the list and they see the name, it's gonna be hard. But because we are all employed, there's nothing we can do. We have to make do with you. And that's what one must do, so that even if you are not there anymore, the producers can always remember you, the directors can always remember you, your fellow actors can always remember you as that person who they wish they could work with.
And Ma, which would you say was more beneficial in your career? I mean, you've done everything, you're an all-rounder. There was theatre, now there's TV, and obviously film. Which would you say was more beneficial, or is there one that you prefer more than the other? How have all those contributed to your career as well?
I think most of the people who are in the creative industry, people that are actors, they would tell you that theatre is the most fulfilling of them all. Why? Because you interact with people, almost in a personal way. Whilst you are performing, you are transforming them from one emotion to another, and you can immediately see the results, you can see them. And at the end of the show, if you want to make them cry, you make them cry, you can see them now. If you want them to laugh, they laugh now, you can see it. And when you finish performing, when they stand up and they clap, that applause, that it gives you, it lifts you up. And it also, theater also, it's sort of like a mind exercise, because you have to remember everything. So it keeps you awake. It awakens you, it renews your skills and everything. So personally, I would like to think that I would theater, but when it comes to finance, imali, when it comes to imali, then you can think about TV and film. But you know what? TV and film also play a very big role, because it exposes you more. It gives you more audience. It gives you more viewers.
Mm-hmm. And being in the industry again after so many years, how do you still protect your brand? How do you go about taking on a role or a theatre production, like you mentioned, a film production? How do you do that?
In South Africa, to be honest with you, I have read a lot of actors, but hey, I choose my roles like this, I choose my day. I don't believe that's true. Our industry is so small that it's difficult for us to even be choosy about roles. That is the truth. a script is written, you go to the audition, they tell you, okay, this is the type of character. Okay, once in a while you might think that, but this one, I'm sorry, I can't do it. But we don't have that freedom. That freedom is not as much as maybe people in Britain or people in America have. We don't actually do have that much freedom where you can choose what you want to do, because all you want, okay, you do want to do good roles, but at the end of the day, you have to pay rent, you have to put food on your table. So you end up even maybe sometimes taking a role that you didn't actually really want to do it, but now you're thinking, I've got kids, I've got to pay rent, I've got to provide for them, they must go to school. That's how it is. It's so difficult to choose roles in this country.
Okay, and let's touch a bit on your foundation, which you said you launched last year, the work that you guys do and the vision that you have with this foundation.
Okay, the foundation, I decided, okay, I was doing master classes nationally through my business, but I decided that maybe I should do it through a foundation, because with a foundation I might have more advantages. I'm doing the foundation because I feel that, I've been in the industry for so long, and it's time, that time is long overdue, that I should be sharing my skills and my experience with people who want to be in the industry. They will not know everything, but at least they will have a window into the industry as to how things work. Like a lot of people now lately, especially our young people, youth, they are so possessed with becoming famous, And I normally tell them that, you see, if you have come to the industry because you want to be famous, then you are in a wrong industry, because you might be cast today in a particular series which is popular, but after a year when the contract ends, you might find yourself not in it. And that thing is going to give you palpitations, because now you don't have followers anymore, you are not invited to gigs anymore, and all of that. So I make them aware of the realities of the industry, the advantages and the disadvantages, that when you get into the industry, you are a freelancer, you are not permanently employed. That they need to know. And then also to expose them to other careers that are within the industry. Like right now, you are talking to me, that's something else which people could do. There's a cameraman, there's a sound man, there's costume, there's vision mixing and everything. So Bona, they just see us, they don't know what's happening behind. So I try to introduce them to say, even behind the camera, there's things like this. And then another thing is that I feel that there are so many things that we need to discuss, to educate ourselves with, to debate, So through the foundation, I can, we can compose a play about a certain subject. Let's say maybe mental health, for instance. Then a little play, which is like, now we're getting into edutainment. We are entertaining, but we are also educating, because when you educate somebody, when you teach somebody and you're standing there like a lecture, sometimes people don't even hear what you are saying. But if you make few people act it, and then after that we sit down and we discuss it, then at least I believe that people will understand better in that way, So yeah, creating awareness, educating through the foundation, and hopefully, because through my business I was also doing exchange programs, especially between the United States and South Africa. So I'm hoping that even through the foundation I will also still be able to do those exchange programs between youth that side and youth this side.
Okay, Ma, you just mentioned to me while offline that you just returned from shooting the Black Panther sequel. Can you tell us a bit more on that?
Yeah, I was in Black Panther 1. So the sequel they started shooting the sequel this year. So fortunately, I was called back, for the sequel, which I'm grateful for. But unfortunately, I'm sure we all know that one of our lead actors, Letitia Wright, she got injured in Boston while she was shooting. So they had to put the shoot on hold, and we came back home. I was supposed to go back on the 4th of November, only to find that she's still not okay. So the shoot has been postponed until January. But it's been quite a pleasure, you know, working in that production with all those people that you know that I was that I was working with, you know, just to see how people do things outside South Africa, because I have done quite a lot of international movies here at home, but it was the first time that I do a movie overseas. I have performed on stage in America and elsewhere, but it was the first time I do a movie in America. And you know, you can see, you know what, these people have been at it for a long, long, long time. And you can see that, you know, here the budgets are big. They are big. So everything is done. It's awesome. I wish everyone could get a chance, you know, to go and experience what I'm experiencing there.
Biggest achievement to date? I mean, you've been on movies, theatre productions, won awards.
Oh Lord,
in your own world, what would you say is your biggest achievement?
Yeah, you know, I would say my biggest achievement is having been able to stay. I will not talk about material things because now I've got so much, or I'm driving this car, or I've got that and that. No, let me just say, for the fact that I was able to stay in this industry long before you were born. That's an achievement. It is a big achievement.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And what else would you like to work on?
I have registered a school. That's where my passion is. Okay, besides the foundation, there is also Destiny Arts and Film School that has been registered. We are working on getting by the way, what do you call it when you want the school to be recognized? Accreditation. Yes, we are working on the accreditation for the school, and over and above that, I also have a production house. I want, you know, my wish is to shoot something big in South Africa with South African actors and actresses, South African crew. If I have to get someone from elsewhere, then it will mean that I probably didn't get anyone here. But I don't think there's any way that I couldn't get any skill here. The skills are here. South Africa is one of the best theatre hub in the world. That's my dream, my biggest dream. To shoot something wonderful that will sell to the whole world about us, you know, telling our own stories. Beautiful, beautiful African story.